So in this portion of the IBDP reactivity 1.3.3, we'll be diving deeper into the greenhouse effect and what is greenhouse effect and what are greenhouse gases. Now, in the earlier videos, we learned that we need fossil fuels. Fossil fuels such as coal. Coal is highly needed to generate electricity. Maximum electricity is generated by burning fossil fuels such as coal. We need petrol, right? We need petrol. We need diesel, right? We need diesel. We need petrol, diesel. We need aviation fuels. Now, any organic compound which you combust, if you're doing combustion, any organic compound we are doing combustion will be always giving you carbon dioxide plus water plus heat. Any organic compound you take, so it will give you carbon dioxide plus water plus heat in excess oxygen. In incomplete combustion, it gives you what? In incomplete combustion, it gives you carbon monoxide or carbon plus water plus heat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now we have to now dive deeper
Hold on,
into
hold
this,
on,
that
hold on.
we have to
Like,
now we have to now
can I
we
write
have
this
to
down?
now
So you
we have to now
said,
deeper into this part, that what do you mean by greenhouse gases. Now greenhouse gases are what? Greenhouse gases are very essential for our earth, very essential, because
yeah,
for the greenhouse gases, the earth is a habitable place to stay. Now if you see Mars does not have any atmosphere. We have our atmosphere. Mars does not have any atmosphere, no atmosphere, right?
I
That's a
think they have a
reason it's
weak
in
atmosphere.
that's a reason that it is inhabitable, right? That's very important, right? It's inhabitable. So we have to know that what exactly is there in the atmosphere of the earth. In the atmosphere of the earth, we have to know that there's a layer of gases which is there. That's very essential for earth to make a habitable planet, right? In the atmosphere of the earth, we have got a layer of gases which is in the stratosphere, right? Just 20 kilometers above, which consists of what? Which will be consisting of carbon dioxide, methane, and water vapor, right? These are called as the greenhouse gases. Now we have to see that when we talk about these greenhouse gases, how does it help this? It helps us immensely. Without these greenhouse gases, our earth will be an inhabitable place to stay, and everywhere the average temperature would have been minus 19 to minus 50 degrees centigrade, right? Without this. Now this greenhouse gases does what? These greenhouse gases warms up the earth, makes the earth a better planet to stay, a much more comfortable planet to stay. Now what does it do? How does it act? Now always remember that the sun, if you see the sun is heating up the earth atmosphere. Now sun is giving out rays. The different kind of infrared, the different kind of electromagnetic spectrum it is coming. It is generating an infrared ray, ultraviolet ray, right? It is giving lots of in the electromagnetic radiation. Now we'll be more concerned about what? We'll be more concerned about the IR ray and the UV ray. Ultraviolet ray is very harmful, very harmful. Ultraviolet ray can kill the cells, kill the normal cells, and it can cause cancer. Ultraviolet ray is very
Yeah,
harmful. Now, the ultraviolet ray, you'll be shocked to hear this, that ultraviolet ray, there's a layer in our earth which is called as a ozone layer. Ozone layer is there, and this ozone layer will be absorbing the ultraviolet ray. And maximum ultraviolet ray is absorbed by the ozone layer. If the ozone layer is not there, then there would have been
yeah,
no species left on the earth. See Mars, does it contain ozone layer in the atmosphere? No, it does not. That's the reason there's no life on Mars. There's no life on Moon. Why? Because there's no ozone layer. There's no atmosphere. So ozone layer is the cause why the species can survive. Why? Because this ultraviolet light is very threatful. It can damage. It will be damaging living cells. It kills living cells. It makes them
yeah,
die. So ultraviolet ray is very, very harmful, and that we are blessed in this earth that we have got an ozone layer. And yes, we are already destroying the ozone layer. There's an ozone hole which is created, right, due to human activities, which is there. Now we have to now focus on the infrared radiation. So we talked about infrared radiation coming out. We talked about the ultraviolet ray. Infrared radiation is not harmful, right? Our TV remotes, you might be thinking that where is infrared radiation? Our TV remotes has got an infrared bulb. Our TVs, our remote control gadgets, they're controlled by this infrared rays, right? Now infrared ray is also coming up from the sun. The sun is giving out infrared ray. No, not all the infrared ray reaches the earth, right? Some of it is actually reflected back. Where? From the atmosphere. Some of it also reflected from the earth's surface, right? Now, this is very important, that if you see that when we see that the 70% that the 70% of the infrared ray will be reaching the Earth's atmosphere. Now, in this this layer, right? It contains what? Carbon dioxide, water vapor, methane. These are the greenhouse gases which are having. Now, these greenhouse gases will be very, very essential for us to know. These greenhouse gases will be absorbing, the infrared ray, right? Which is reflected back, right? Infrared ray will be coming over here and reflected also. There are some infrared ray which is coming and passing to the atmosphere. So this infrared ray, which is reflected back from the atmosphere or the surface of the Earth, right? 30% infrared ray, that will be trapped by the greenhouse gases layer. And what are the greenhouse gases? Carbon dioxide,
Yeah.
water vapor, and methane. Now these are the greenhouse gases. Now what do they do? Now by a complex process of bond stretching, when infrared ray is given, right? We have to learn this in the
Yeah.
chemistry HL portion of the infrared, that portion of the chemistry HL, that when you give infrared ray, what happens? The bond stretching, the bond compressions take place, and the
Mm-hmm.
vibrations increase, the natural vibration increase. And we can also see in the chapter where we studied the infrared particular ways by which to determine the bond. We studied that they will be stretching and bending these bonds. Now when they stretch and
Yeah.
bend these bonds, what happens? There will be a friction which will be created, and this friction will be generating heat, right? So all the molecules such as H2O, CH4, and CO2, these three will be absorbing the reflected infrared ray which is coming down from the sun, and it will be making the bonds stretching, bending vigorously, and this causes friction, and thus it will be increasing the energy of the greenhouse gases on the stratosphere, right? And thus the temperature of the Earth will be increasing, and it helps us. Otherwise, do you know what? Otherwise, in the moon, when the sun ray strikes, the temperature rises to 150 degrees centigrade. When there is night, the temperature plummets to what? 1 minus 135 degrees. Why? Because it does not contain any atmosphere. This atmosphere is not there. But Earth, we are blessed by God that we have got atmosphere which contains the greenhouse gases, which will be keeping our Earth warmer. Ozone layer, will be studying in another chapter of the enthalpy chapter, that ozone layer will be absorbing the ultraviolet ray, thus saving us from getting killed, and thus species can be flourish, right? Now we now know that this greenhouse gases has to be in very delicate balance. Why? Because in any activities which will be increasing this particular greenhouse gases will be increasing the temperature of the Earth. Simple. Greenhouse gases will be trapping the infrared ray, and it will be heating up that and making our Earth warmer place to live. But human activities
Yeah.
has increased this greenhouse gases. Example: fossil fuels. We just started the session with that fossil fuels, they increase the carbon dioxide, right? Now carbon dioxide is a greenhouse
Yeah.
gas. It's not harmful, it's not poisonous, it's not devastating. It's otherwise it's okay, fine. But carbon dioxide, when we run the buses, we run the trucks, when we run the flights, or when we burn the gases in our house, it emits carbon dioxide. And now population is increasing, right? Day by day population is increasing, huge number of population is increasing. So population, when it increasing, they will be buying more cars will be on that roads, that will be emitting what? Those population needs electricity and the homes, so we have to burn coal. When we burn coal also generates carbon dioxide. This carbon dioxide
Yeah.
level will increase, the amount of the carbon dioxide increases, and that increases the greenhouse gases. And when the greenhouse gases increases, what happens? The delicate balance get disturbed. And what happened? We'll be seeing that the temperature of the Earth increases. So there are three greenhouse gases. What are those? Carbon dioxide,
CO2, water
CO2,
vapor,
water vapor,
and
and CH4, right? This is the three.
methane.
Yeah, yeah. So now we have to know that how does methane increasing, right? Methane is released from where? We have to know the sources. Methane is
Cows.
released by what? Methane is released by the cattle farming, right? Cattle farming is required.
Yes.
Why? Same thing, the ever increasing population of the Earth that demands milk, that demands meat to feed them. So cattle farming is
Yeah.
increased, right? So cattle farming will be, obviously they will be releasing more
Yeah.
amount of methane gas. That also disrupts the delicate balance. Secondly, we have to see the ever demanding population needs what? Rice to have, right? Food to have rice. Rice fields generate methane. So we have to know that what are the sources of this methane gas. The sources of methane gas is what? The first source is what? Cattle farming, right? Second source is what?
Mm-hmm.
Second source is that rice field, right? Rice fields. Third is what?
Yeah.
Human, that the waste, the wastelands. We have to discard our waste to decompose, right? In open fields, landfill sites, right? So these are the three causes of methane gas which is there. Now, methane gas, all this human activity, human population increase, this is increasing the demand for the cattle, demand for the rice field, demand for the landfill sites. And that's what happens. Thus, we are seeing that this methane, this layer is increasing. Now, coming to the part, we have to now see that what carbon dioxide is also increasing from other reasons also. See this wonderful graph. So carbon dioxide level is also increasing for another reason. Yeah, fossil fuel we're burning. Okay, that's increasing it. Higher demand for cars, buses. Population needs more cars. But there's another reason why carbon dioxide level is increasing. The same reason. Population, if it is increasing, right? Population is increasing, that they need homes to stay. We have to build new homes. That's simple. To build homes, what we have to do? We have to cut down on our forest land. Simple. We have to cut down on our forest land to make way for homes for the ever increasing population. Deforestation we have to do. And this plant, these trees are very good source of absorbing carbon dioxide. They absorb carbon dioxide, right? Carbon dioxide
Which
plus
one?
water gives you C6H12O6 plus oxygen. So trees
Oh,
does what?
yeah.
What the trees do? Trees undergoes what?
Absorb.
Photosynthesis. Photosynthesis. What is photosynthesis? Carbon dioxide plus water gives you glucose plus oxygen, right? This reaction. And glucose we have glucose in the form of potato, in the form of rice, in the form of fruits, in the form of wheat. This is photosynthesis happening. This blessing part which is happening in the plants, in the leaves, the green part, this greeny leaves, they absorb what? They absorb carbon dioxide, and they take water
Yeah.
from the roots, and what we get? We get glucose plus oxygen. This oxygen is needed for our survival, right? This is called as
Yeah.
photosynthesis reaction. Oxygen is needed, must be. See, there's no plants in the Mars, so there's no oxygen. No plants in the moon, no oxygen. Oxygen is needed for us. So plants will be absorbing carbon dioxide and water to give you the glucose plus oxygen. Yeah, this reaction is very, very helpful. See, it absorbs carbon dioxide. See, number one. Number two, it gives us our food, glucose in the form of potato, in the form of rice, wheat, whatever you tell. Now, oxygen is also gives a third important, right? But what we are doing, we are cutting down our plants for building the homes. So that also does what? That also will be disrupting this process of absorbing carbon dioxide. So thus the carbon dioxide is not absorbed, right, as it did earlier, because tropical rainforest and the oceans, they are encroached right now. Now this graph will be telling us the very important data that yes, that whenever we are seeing this, the carbon dioxide level is going up due to the ever increasing population. Similarly, if you see the temperature graph with the years, yes, so you can see that the concentration of the carbon dioxide is increasing. See, increasing over here, and the temperatures also. So yes, so scientists have found out that yes, shall we keep our earth, our mother earth safer? Can we keep it? Can we keep it? Can we secure it for the future generation, for the sustainability? If you're burning more amount of coal, more amount of petrol, more amount of diesel, carbon dioxide we are increasing. It is not that in one day you we burn the fossil fuels, next day the temperature will increase. Carbon dioxide builds up over our years and years. So our future generation will be getting a warmer earth, much more temperature will be increasing. So that is very important for us
Yes.
to know that the what is greenhouse gases? Greenhouse gases are those gases, carbon dioxide, methane, and water vapor. These are called as greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases absorb what? Greenhouse gases will be absorbing the infrared ray, and by a bond stretching mechanism, bond bending mechanism, they'll be creating a friction which will be increasing the temperature of the stratosphere, and this makes our Earth habitable place to stay. Now, this is called as greenhouse effect. Now, if you see that when we talk about this data, I just showed it in the other graph, that greenhouse gases is increasing, carbon dioxide is increasing, methane is increasing, and that leads to global warming. So we know that every year this global warming is creating a menace. Many people do not understand that, okay, they are trying to build factories, burn coal. They're not understanding what is happening to the future generation. Our future generation will be suffering from high temperatures. When the temperature of the earth increases, what happens as a result? The Arctic and the Antarctic glaciers, which are there, glaciers, these glaciers starts to melt. When the glaciers melt, what happens? The sea level rises, isn't it? The sea level rises and flooding occurs. So global warming has got many cases. See, unpredictable storms. Did you see unpredictable storms happening now? Recently, the storm happened in US, right? It completely devastated. Nobody predicted. Global warming effect is what? It will be raining in those areas which won't rain there, which shouldn't have rained. So unpredictable rainfall, incandescent storms, rising of the sea level. And yes, why this is happening? Because of the temperature of the earth is increasing. So this is very important, that if you see that the very important data which is there, this comes in exams also, that what are the contributors. So historic patterns of atmospheric carbon dioxide concentration we are having over here. We are burning coal. See, we are burning coal. We are burning lignite. So these are the crosses. See, coal we have to burn to generate electricity. Have to burn generate. So can we move to other sustainability way? Yes, we'll be going to later videos that what are the sustainability approaches where we avoid burning coal, because as I have told you, fossil fuels will be mainly contributing to the carbon dioxide emission, and yes, they are at historical peaks. So this is the thing which also we have seen, that if you see that the present, see, the current is here. See, can you see from 1950 how the population increased and how we are increasing the
Yes.
industrialization, and that will be having an effect. So sustainability is very important. Is the sustainability affected? Yes, our future generation won't be able to have a good particular what good particular earth. So mother earth we have to save. We have to make sure that we are not self-centered. We are not country centered. We have to think globally, that if we burn fossil fuels in a country A, somewhere A, we think that that we won't be affected. If a fossil fuel is getting burnt in country A and we are sitting in country B, many people think that, okay, this B won't be affected, but no. Slowly the carbon dioxide will be increasing, right, in the stratosphere, and that will be affecting globally. So this is all about what? This is all about the greenhouse effect and the greenhouse gases. This is a very important chapter. This is the reactivity 1.3. We did 1.3.3. Thank you so much.